أهلا وسهلا وحياكم الله وكل عام وأنتم بخير. اليوم 3/6/1447 هجري والموافق يوم الاثنين وهي يوم الأم. أهلا وسهلا ومرحبا بكم. It is the 3rd of the 6th Jamad al-Akhira 1447, which is corresponding to a Monday, which is the Yawm al-Umm. The most natural access that you have to Mother Nature is our mothers. So that is how it is planted in this journey, that you be born in the womb of the universe, okay, where all tapestries connects from within your neurological patterns and your blueprints, okay. Everything that you understand of life is the very opposite of what the reality is that awaits your children and awaits you before you die, okay. Because most of you do not understand life and death, you will suffer because there is no death, and that is how you deny the truth. The Quran did not come to give you a religion. She came to identify with your path. Okay? Your Quran is internal, it's not external. Yani nothing exists in the fictional reality of a manufactured vision. Everything that you needed ever is planted within your blueprint, within your scrolls, within your internal reality that exists within your kingdom. Okay. Now, today we had set the records on the moulood shares, the moulood shares, our Nasdaq. Okay. So when you have forefathers as what the soul tribes in this land had inherited the inheritance and the portions of clarity, the rightful portions of what the masculinity and femininity had required for them to remain balanced. للذكر مثل حظ الأنثيين. Okay? Where you people come on religion and what you did in Jahannam to justify what Allah had divided in the Quran, it's the night and the day, people. You must come to terms that you took a wrong shift and a wrong turn of here, and you went back into a dark stream of a reality. Okay? Allah doesn't engage you in the Jahannam where you are currently in the dark. You and I went and made something which we heard our forefathers or our Nas tribe or people who were really in the dark, that you inherited that fascist symbol of a reality, and then you automatically believe that your last civilization was righteous. Okay? You have to understand who crafted and patterned your and programmed your understanding of life, your understanding of a reality, your understanding of a book, okay, your understanding of a God. Because as we always come back and we come to realize that the past age will be buried by the present children. The past lie will be rectified by the present civilization, as what Allah will now give them to reconstruct a narrative that has no relevance with the past, as what we had thought that the past has relevance in a civilization that was buried in the COVID period. Okay. Something that we can personally give account to. Okay, we knew who lied and we knew who had been used for a conduit and as a wealth order. Okay, you all know this, people. It's in your Quran, it's in your DNA, it's all around you. Okay, just that you had chosen not to take your shares of the moulood. Nou, lang gelede, daar was 'n boetie Breima hulle en 'n boetie en Memme hulle wat altyd gekyk het dat almal gee pad in die shares van die moulood. Nou, wat dink julle is die moulood vandag? We as a new generation, we as the people that are holding the baton from the ancestors, from the soul tribe, we have to tell you what is the shares and what was this all about, that they clustered together those ancestors in order to safeguard the akhirah. Nou, wat is die akhirah? As dan nie is iets soos dood nie, wat is akhirah? Because julle gaan nie dood nie, julle gaan net na 'n nog 'n level van verstaaning. Wat hy gebeur nie as jy onder die grond is nie, hy gebeur as jy uit die grond uitkom, uit jou kabber uitkom, uit jou dik vel uitkom, uit jou stupidity uitkom, uit jou ignorance uitkom, dan gaan jy sien die lig, dan gaan jy sien wie jy is, dan gaan jy realize, maar my God Allah, vir die laaste 50, 60 jaar was ek completely gemisguided, was ek completely in doubt, was ek completely washed in guilt, was I completely living in fear. Okay? Now your fear shaped your God, and your guilt made you pay for your sins. And the doubt is what you are still living on until today, because you were not gifted by Allah. We were not gifted by Allah to understand that death was just a deception. Okay? For you and I to come to terms with that is difficult, because we don't know where we're going to, because of the loads that our mothers and our fathers had given us to believe what sin is, because of other nations, okay? Other doctrines, other timelines of conscience, other dilapidated narratives that had no longer served the welfare of the collective, okay? So the ancestors of your culture on the southern tip of the African continent, a very chosen bloodline, okay? In that they had engineered for the next generations to understand what it was to be gifted eternal life. If the next generations that they would prime and have a share in the moulood, okay, then their children, their next generation would be the recipients, the heirs of that shares of the moulood. If you understand, people, it doesn't happen below, it happens above, okay. You are your ancestors. There is no ancestor coming back. Julle gaan nooit ontmoet julle ma's, julle pa's weer ewe voor die tyd gekom het nie, because you are holding them internally. Everything is just happening inside of your people. Everything that you've ever heard outside was a result of what is happening inside. It always had to be inside first. It's how you're being deceived and how we're being misled and how we're being directed, and false narratives are being composed. That's why the media holds such a great impact on your lives, because that is where your truth was buried. Okay? Now, the current conditions of Jamad al-Akhira as a civilization, people, we must remain steadfast in understanding that we are now making the hashr. Okay, we are now going to see the ha and the sheen and the ra, the shar and the hashr. Okay, you who are now coming to the puberty in conscious, returning to the natural order, returning to the deen of the fitrah of Allah. Okay, these are the people that Allah addresses in the Quran with Ya ayyatuhan nafsul mutma'inna. If you and I in this past 6 and 7 years since 1441, okay, 1441 is a reset in the system psychologically and neurologically. If by now you could find the elevation, the upgrade, the new operation systems, okay, after that 7 years of sacrifice, then you will not die ever. Okay. In other words, you have now been gifted the operation systems and the methodologies as to and also downloaded the instructions and the manual book in your DNA, people. Soul tribes, listen to what I'm saying. This is not for the jinn tribes. This is not for those who did not get to wake up from the graves, from the qabrs, okay? Those people who could not be awoken from the qabrs, from the dead cells, there was no activation internally. Nobody came. They did not go, so nobody came. They did not recognize the mother, universe, the mother, the mother earth, the mother, the Ummul Kitab. They did not get access, okay, into the mother scrolls, okay. In other words, people, their mother nature did not synchronize with their dilapidated conditions. Okay? Nature rejected them. Okay? As to what happened in your COVID evolution. COVID was all just in your people's minds because there's no death. You must just come. It's for me very embarrassing as a child to tell this to the senior people to understand how misguided they became in life, okay, in earth, okay. That's why we choose not to do this externally, because that world has been it's on the verge. By the 21st of December, this thing is not going to look good for the for those who have been seized and deceased, okay. Allah have mercy on all people. This is all inside. It doesn't happen outside. Nothing happens outside your infatuation. The crux of your fiction is that you are caught up in a reality that has been guided by your adversary, which is your shaitan. Okay, you don't know who shaitan, but shaitan resides inside of you, because you are the shaitan, you are the Fir'aun, you are the Haman. This is your characteristics that you have to unlock in the journey which you call life, okay, in order to find and to activate what you understand as eternal, okay. For now, the God that you are feeding is the devil that you are currently keeping you alive, okay, because you still believe you must die, okay. The Quran did not come for the Muslims, it came for all of humanity, for all of times, because it only narrates to you in your conscious one small piece, a minute of your bypass of this earth. Now you make one person. As Muslims, you had forsaken what the Christians and the Jews did. You made a man more important than Allah. Wallahi, you loved a man more than Allah. You loved something which was temporal, something which was fictional, something which you didn't see. You love something that doesn't exist. Okay? So all that you did was a replica of what the Christians did. You also put all divine qualities into humans and not gifted it to the actual main source, which is Allah. Why can your children not love Allah? Okay. Why did you not teach them to have that internalized communication with Allah instead of a man, instead of something which is temporal, something which has no long everlasting, something which was fictionally planted, because it's stories, people. It's only the dead that is talking now. You believe in the dead because we all are buried under the ground. That's why you believe God sent a prophet, because you believe in the dead world, in the dark world, in the past. Your children don't live where you live, guys. You are living in the dark world, okay? It's no more your children, because they are becoming now what we call orphans, aitam. They go back again now to the authentic realms where they authentically were patterned and guided and activated and given the scrolls, okay. You have to tell your children how to get across the sea, not to how to hoard and to become courageous. That's mostly the game anyway, okay. Then you invented religions like and then you made them follow religions, and then you made that the inevitable truth, and then you were all made liars at the end of the day, and you cannot defend yourselves now. Look, what is kadhab and adhab? Adhab and kadhab. Kadhab and adhab. It's how you continuously be punished. Adhab is punished, and kadhab is that who denies, that who lies. Okay? Now, adhab, dhaba comes from something which you dissolve into. Okay? The lie that you perpetuate inside your psychology. You create a lie above a lie, and a darkness inside the darkness, and that becomes eternal. It becomes an eternal curse in your psychology, in the way that you focus and project and produce a reality, and how you get caught up in something which is ultimately leading to your destruction, which is how you create and co-create partners to Allah, whether it be in a form of a wallet, a prophet, okay, or a a dead tail. Dead man tells no tales, but we will create words that will make him alive in books. Okay, that's why Muslims are the most poorest of people, disassociated to reality, always fighting amongst each other, always not wanting for each other what they want for themselves. They are one of the most cursed people in the century. They do not want good for each other. Okay? That's the curse that they brought about when they adopted a false religion. Okay? Understand what I'm telling you, people. You have no understanding of the book because of you blind following. Okay, who are going to be, yani, you see now the moulood shares our Nasdaq. The Nasdaq is the Nasdaq, the Siddiq. Okay, the truth here is, guys, the value of your, yani, beliefs is in truth, that which your children can live with and not have a dark memory. Okay, it's not about you any longer or me any longer. It's about how your children in the new age, in the new reality, in the new dawn is going to be evaluating how astray you were, oh mother and oh father. How disconnected were you from Allah's fitrah, Allah's deen, Allah's originality, from your mother nature? Okay, how have you been chemicalized? How have I been detoxed? How have I been misled? All those things are now going to be coming in your presence now, because you're going to be having to evaluate your results by yourself. Die sware patte van die exams is wat dit is. You see, daarvoor was die Maulid so important for us. Maulid was the new portion of what you were going to get after the new child, the new conscious is born here. Okay? Is your children, your next generation, your lineage, your bloodline, are they going to get from it? So all of those who really understood what was this compelling factor of Maulud, it had nothing to do with a past celebration, people. You were led into a dungeon, and that's where you are stuck today, and you cannot find exit, and you're following people who have no relativity with reality. Okay? Nor with the text. Nor with the text. They have very little, and hulle besig om te verstaan 'n Quran wat Allah 1400 jaar gelede. That's not for you, that Quran. You need to find a book that's relative for you now in this age and time, because you're going to have a complete different and a reality that is being prepared and scripted for a new, yani, civilization that was promised by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whilst you are, as the past civilization, we as the past, yani, generation, we are the cause of our own destruction. Okay? So die mauluds wat Buddha Brahma and Khalifa Brahma hulle almal geheer het, en until today, die Nasdaq, die stock exchange, okay, die shares wat hulle geheer het, wat hulle geglo het was vir die akhira, is waar ons in is nou vandag. Ons is in akhira. Yani, Qiyam is not what you understand Qiyam. Qiyam is when you stand, when your conscious rises, when your conscious wakes up, when you are finding consciousness, awareness. That's Qiyam, people. Stop lying to your children and stop misleading your children. And it's a pity that you had been so badly damaged in this order and this ordeal and this experience called life. Okay? Luckily, for ons khalifas, so muallimas, ons imams, they sopang mense, guys. Really, you know, Shekhte, you can't talk about Shekhte in this culture, because we knew and were more committed to the people that was locally grown, okay? That knew, we could see that child since he's born, is hy capable, is hy bekwam, het hy die kwaliteite, is hy iemand wat net lief is vir geld, wil hy net groot praat, wil hy net groot wees. Almal in die community sal weet wie die persoon is. Dis hoe imam gekom het en dis hoe die mense hulle geaccept het. Nie omdat hulle gewetenskap het nie, because they lived according to their nature. They were authentic, and that's why the communities did not they did not understand the role of a Khalifa. They knew, this communities knew, this community know wat imam. Wat die geleerde, so-called geleerde mense van buitekant afkom, okay? That splitted a big portion of this community. Then you had the Shakirites and you had the Najarites, and die het geglo, hy het 'n hoë daraja en hy het gestudeer in Al-Azhar en die het gestudeer in die Haram, hy het niks gedoen nie. This yani really stupid arguments had in this place, and that caused this community to be badly harmed, because slim mense it cause division in the communities. Okay, as children, we won't forget this, guys. Allah gave us this memory to remember all these things. Okay, so the moulood khalifas and the ratib khalifas and the moulood members and the khutisa, it wasn't about the man coming, guys. It was about the love that was the true currency of earth. Okay. The love that they shared amongst each other, the love that they cared for one another, the love that they held in secrecy. Okay. And that kept them shielded so that the next generations, who is us, would understand what Akhirah and Qiyamah, and we would understand the Quran in the age of the day and not in the age of the night, like the past civilization is. That's a something. That's an artificial intelligence civilization that you are mostly living in now. It's not true. It doesn't exist. You are just living off a respiratory machine. Yani, it's just feeding you every time how to stay alive because there's no life inside. You only have life outside. And then say, "Gaan do it. The problem is." But as the problem is buite ka nie. The problem is binne. Die siekte is binne. Die confusion, the doubt, the fear is alles binne. Want julle moes nie geparticipate het en gekry het as share van die moulood nie, wat op die Nasdaq, die stock exchange gewees het. Maar ons voorvaders altyd vir ons herinner dat hy moet gedoen word, and that will continue until the next reset of a civilization. We will continue participating in that exchange of sadaqat. People, by nou moet julle op my julle gekom van 'n miljoen na 'n biljoen na 'n triljoen. Die illusion gaan wees 'n quadrillion in die next 10 years. The way the digital currency vir julle in die sea like in die ronde vinnig. Okay? Die swaarigheid, die swaarigheid wat dis donkerte, maar julle wil mos nie julle hoor nie. As jy nie wil hoor nie, moet jy voel, guys. Okay. Daar is nou net hoe die besigheid werk. Right? As for the soul tribes, brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers on the 1919, you have a very prosperous experience that is incoming now if you understand. Okay. It's time for you now to consolidate your members, your membership. Yeah, those who are mu'minun, those who are believers. Jy kyk sien nie meer met die gesig nie. Kyk, those who are still caught up in their bodies are dead. Those who found their ruh, they are the people that are alive. So you don't need to see the person anymore to know that the person is alive, because the body means just lewendig, the soul means just lewendig. That's why the digital, in your understanding of digital, you all have already taken up a digital identity for a long time in your lives, because everything about your life is digitally enhanced. Okay, the day you are born, the day your mother is married, the day you die, the day you go to school, the time, the wages, the bank account, everything about your lives are built on digits today. Okay, your time is digits, everything, your arm. That's why they put the watch and the injections on your arm, and that is how they force you. That's where the arm force comes from. That's where the army comes from. It's all arms that you are picking up against yourself. Okay, so the true arm was the watch. Okay, that watched you. That's why in 2001, when the Middle Easterners demolished the Twin Towers, 2002, the very same people roused the three towers, okay, on top of the black cube. Okay, you don't know. In 2011, they opened it up. You don't know what's happening because you don't understand your Quran. Okay, but just for you to know that you mostly are in the dark of what is the true system that is running. You might not be held directly accountable, but those who claim that they are leading you are the very people that will be first taken into account. Okay, all of them, all across the border. This is Yomul Qiyam, people. Those of you who can see, you must know. Okay, you were given the wrong understanding of who you are, and now you have to work yourself through that density to get into your clarity at this moment in time. Thanks to the Khalifas, thanks to the Memas, thanks to these Sopang imams and tetas and tatas and all these little things that kept our soul tribes connected to the soul of our hearts, people. That's where we found the peace. You know, what is it that you need to get from Jannah is peace. Okay? There is no 1 cent for you to make in Jannah. There is no ego trip for you in Jannah. There is no females waiting for you in Jannah. There is no blood magic, sex magic, money magic. That is nixie. It's good. You gotta be clean to get there. Okay? Now, because you are dead, you are unclean. You are not pure. You are not tahir. You are not tahir. You are not mutahhir li ghayrik. Okay? These are qualities that is internal, not external, as what you were caught out when it came to COVID. You were taken out of the house, people. You were taken out. Your next generation is understanding what is happening internally so that they can understand that that is where the Jannah, the kingdom, is placed when you are pure, not when you are contaminated and polluted as what the last generation became, festered in an illusional conviction, a usury conviction, a usury reality, a riba reality. Okay? Now they're still stuck there. They can't get out of it. There is a sware punishment. Punishments internally. It's like when you are sitting and contemplating, wat gaan ek vir Allah sê, because they can't come na Allah nie. Ze kan nie dink hoe om dood te gaan nie, because hy noem self as a punishment. If you don't know how to die, you don't know how to live, because death is life. Now you have to discover this in the time when you are 80 and 90 years old, and you have the complete verkeerde akida, die verkeerde understanding van lewe, en sy glo nog altyd dat hy kind wat vir jou sê, hy is 'n mufti en hy is 'n pope, hy gaan vir jou kan beter sê. Hy's equally so dom soos jy is, because jy het forsake your own divine natural intelligence. It's inside of you guys. Don't seek for it outside. Since COVID, find it internally. You had been given enough time. Okay? We as the soul tribes now scripting a new reality that is in reciprocation of the new wave of data that is now shaping a new psychology, a new nature, new in the sense that it must not repeat the same mistakes the past nature had debunked herself with. Okay? So it's night and day. There's not going to be prophets, there's only going to be Allah. Okay? That's the one thing you must understand. Allah is enough. We don't need men and women to dominate a narrative here. Okay? Whether it is Musa or Isa, these are all one. لا نفرق بين أحد من رسله. We just take what is our fair share of this new moulood. Moulood means the new birth. Okay? Now, there is someone that was sent in order to collect on behalf of each new civilization, and a new sun is casted. Sun is a conscious. Okay? And that is how they will now module the new understanding of truth, of divinity, of prophecies, of philosophy, of mathematics, of language. Because that past civilization, they were the cause of their own destruction. That senates, that parliament, that governments, we can never ever trust them. They were the cause for the destruction. Now, they are patterning now to the dark forces, like since the G20 and these kind of things, like, right? They are giving, and they are now bringing those who could not survive the invasion that has returned back into the prison. They've just renewed the contracts now again. Okay, that's what happens in that kind of, because you must remember, guys, I am going to tell you this, alayha tis'ata ashar, you returning into that contour of a reality, that's eternal Jahannam. You have secured yourself a eternal place in some way where you will never understand Allah. You will never understand yourself. Okay? The flame that is in your eyes is because of how your brain has not found the antidote, which was peace. You had to find the peace, the salam, the darus salam, the sautus salam, right? This was your, yani, this was what you had to find, and peace you cannot find outside. This is the most wealthiest treasure that you can have today, and the soul tribes has this essence. Not the ulama, not the ulapa, not the ulavosis. Niemand van hulle het peace, broers. Hulle soek almal die, hulle jag almal daai. The false prophet, okay? The peace is inside. That's what you need. That's where Jannah is now today. Being able to sit still and believe that whatever it is that you need to understand in the reality of the science of the conscious will now be revealed to you as per your level of perception. Okay? Because belief is just built on perception. All religions are not going to survive the truth, because the truth resides above religion, and most of us are conflict. By your children, you don't have to prove it. Your children knows it. Okay, you just have to find yourself a key out of the hell that you are currently stuck in, because that's not going to be an easy exit. Okay, the results are going to show by itself, right? So, mashallah, tabarakallah, your moulouds, yani, we don't speak too much, yani. And it is said like, yani, we keep, yani, the ni'mah we hide the ni'mah bil kitman, yani, because of the ayn, yeah. But all that we needed to do was that, okay, for the soul tribes, just for the soul tribes. We can't serve any jinn tribes. That's because we are not jinn, okay? Those are those who has been physically and mentally captured in a reality that don't exist, but they keep it alive through reacting to their adversary. Okay? These are refined psychologies that even the psychologists, which are professors and which they claim are the most, they can't get to where we are, because we are just natural. Ons khalifas ken die, but ons khalifas het nog nooit 'n certificate gehad nie, because that is where we found our peace. Okay? Nobody can give you peace but the heavens. The salam, the darus salam, okay, the jannat is salam, udkhuluha bis salam, okay. That is where you're going to find Islam, is when you find salam. At this moment in time, you are just going through a rapture. The Islam that you think is Islam is the jinn's edition of what it is to buy peace, and to find that you have to always broker a two-state solution. Okay, so whilst the idolatry is still in your bloodstreams as you perform the holy shirk, and you will always be at log ahead for not finding the peace in order to receive the angels of knowledge, the streams of data that would give you your present allocations, your present risk, your present well-being, your present alignment. That's what you need. You needed to give your children that. We asked you as parents, but because you forfeited yours, you couldn't give it to us. So now, when we found ours, we had to make sure we put it in the proper vortex. Okay, not in Fort Knox, in our mothers' chambers, so that they would, by the natural ability, reboot the natural laws of Allah, not the man manipulated forms of reality that made your children believe today that their mothers and fathers are stuck in a fictional crucifixion. Okay? The crux of the fiction is you succumb to the Fir'aun's, your own Fir'aun's spells. Okay? And that could be devastating. May Allah grant you a easy exit from that place. But be that what it may, just for the soul tribes to let them know is that as to what we had discussed, as to what we had negotiated, as to what was the understanding of what would be Jannah, which your father and your mother could not explain to you, you will now uncover what the reality of a conscious upgrade is when you have the presence of Allah. جزاكم الله خيرا. Enjoy your iftar. وعليكم السلام. شكرا to أمي راضية. في أمان الله وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
يا مصطفى كل شيء لله يا نورا من نور الله يا مصطفى كل شيء